On this video, I'm going to show you how you can utilize ChatGPT or any other AI to help you create show notes for your podcast, or even show notes and descriptions for your YouTube videos as well. Now, here's the thing. This is just how we do it. I own a media service that helps with managing podcasts and YouTube videos. And there's a lot of other people that do this in a different way, or maybe they use a different platform and that sort of thing. This is just how we use it. I'm just going to show you the process for it. And it ultimately takes a lot of work off of our manpower shoulders, and be able to, utilize AI as a tool, and helps us with creating more efficient processes for the show noting of the podcast. If you're somebody that's on the other side of the camera and you're like, oh, that's a stupid way to do it, then leave a comment below and let me know how you do it. Because I am truly, when it comes to AI, people use it in so many different ways and functions. And so you might have a better process than me, but ultimately this is just what I'm going to show you on how we do it today. Now, a couple things I'm going to preface with. Number one is you still want human eyeballs to go over it. You don't want to just copy and paste what ChatGPT gives you and then just paste that right into your description, because you're going to have some quality control issues. In our podcast management services, we still do have a person that is a human being that watches from start to finish, or listens to from start to finish every single one of our pieces of content, podcast episode, YouTube video, or whatever it is, and goes through it to make sure it still sounds and looks good. So that's important to still have that, because anything can go wrong. Video could play back wrong, audio could have lag in it or not match up with the video, and now the audio is ahead of the mouthing and that sort of thing, and it looks off. There's so many things that could go wrong. So we still do have that in place, and AI really isn't in a place right now where we could take that and remove that function from our process. So this just helps with creating it a little bit more thoroughly and getting more on point with it. And there's a lot of other utilizations for it as well. So let's go ahead and hop in. I'm gonna show you my screen and see what we could do. So right now I'm in ChatGPT, and this is a GPT that I just found that works well. Honestly, they're mostly a dime a dozen. It's gonna kind of help you with whatever you need, but this one is by Mark Ronick, and it is podcast show notes writer by Next Gen Podcaster. This one works well. Again, there's people that are listening right now that probably use something else, but this is just what we use. So ultimately, when I open that up, I'm going to literally just click on summarize this episode for show notes, and it's going to tell me to list or upload the file. So what we typically do is we'll transcribe the video in Premiere Pro, or however you transcribe videos. Once we're actually creating the piece of content, we always transcribe the content, because then we can take that transcription, upload it to the platforms, or upload it to the website, stuff like that. So we're using the transcription for a lot of other things. So what we'll do is we're just going to take this and now upload the file of the transcript, which we're just going to use, for example, this one of my clients, Burning the Ships. I'm sure he won't mind us using that. So now what I can do is, sometimes what I'll do is I'll add in a couple things. It has a canned response that'll go through and analyze the episode itself, and then give you a general kind of layout for it. So I'll show you kind of what it generates. Sometimes what we do is we'll add a prompt that says, add 3 key takeaways or 5 key takeaways, or include more episode highlights or more timelines, or give a longer description. But ultimately what it's going to come down to is it's going to give us a really well thought out, basic, show notes that we can take and use. And then sometimes, like for example, with this one, what I'll do is I'm going to prompt this and say, give me a little longer description, add more episode highlights, which the highlights are basically these timeline, these pieces right here, right? And then I'll say, add 3 key, can't spell today, takeaways, and spell out the full link URLs. Okay, so we'll head under, and you can clean up that prompt a little bit more, but it's basically going to go back through, give us a little bit more context of these. So it's going to include a little bit more of the timelines, and then give us those 3 key takeaways that we asked for, and then also spell out that link that we asked it to do. And then, you could click on this link and it's going to take us where we want it to. You could give it hey, include more call to actions. You could say include more links to my videos, or whatever it is. You can literally give it as much as you want. And then what you can do is now take this, copy it. And like I said, a step that you want to make sure you do, though, is to make sure you do read through this very thoroughly and make sure that whatever is here, that it is spelled properly. It is the name. So for example, I know, this one, Katie is actually spelled without an E. So it's just literally Katie, K-A-T-I. So I want to make sure to eyeball that and then, go through it. Now, if she were to mention a way to connect with her on social media or a way to go to her website and it links that here, double check those links to make sure that it goes to the right place. In fact, I'll do this one right now. So it's going to open this, and this landed on the proper website. So that's totally cool. Now, I can take that, copy it, and paste that right into my show notes. So then from here, I can just take this link and just, take it for what it is. I double checked it, and we're good to go to include that in the show notes. So now, of course, you can kind of tweak and alter this however you want to match whatever your style of show noting is. If you want the key takeaways to be above the timeline summary, and you want the timeline summary to be at the very end, just prompt it and tell it exactly what you want, and it's going to spit it out for you. So the beautiful thing about this is non-plagiarizing. Obviously, this is your content. This is a transcription directly from your podcast, and it's going to be able to give you exactly what you need and then be able to plug that in. So main takeaways here are just to make sure you reread it, make sure all that information is accurate on the show notes. Don't skip that step, because every once in a while you are going to run into something that doesn't need to be changed. And then also make sure you're checking those links. Any of the links that are included in there, make sure you do check on those as well. So ultimately, this is just a tool to be able to help you create those podcast show notes instead of you sitting there. What we used to have to do is have somebody manually sit there and type out all of that, listen through each of those episodes, create each one of those timeline summaries and the time mark everything. But this can do that highly and efficiently and effectively for you. And ultimately, this does work for YouTube videos as well. So you can take that and implement it for your YouTube content also. Then a little side note that is really helpful is now for those timeline summaries that it gave you, if you're going to create social media content, like clippings from that, you can now go to each one of those timestamps and then look for it there and then just clip out that conversation, and boom, you have some social media content. So hopefully that helps someone today. I know this is a lot more for people that maybe you're bootstrapping it and you're doing your podcast yourself. If you do need help with your podcast, we do offer a service that helps with managing it from start to finish, all the production, all the way through the show noting, graphic design, and the publishing and managing it for you. Then feel free to reach out to me on social media, Facebook or Instagram. Just look for Josh Culler and send me a direct message. Happy to chat with you and see if it's a good fit. If you did get value out of this video, or maybe you, like I said at the beginning of the video, you have a different way of doing it and maybe it's more efficient, more effective than this, feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Like I said, everybody uses AI differently, and I'm always open to hearing your feedback. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.